Welcome to Kahoma Community College's Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Ouida McAfee. Today, our special guest is Mr. O.C. Duffy. Mr. Duffy, I'm thrilled that you are joining me today.
Well, thank you.
Please tell us about who you are and what you do.
Well, as you said, I'm O.C. Duffy from Augusta, Arkansas, and I'm an instructor at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. Been here now for going on 43 to 44 years. I teach classes in industrial technology, management, and applied engineering. I also have my own construction company. This is my 30th year in construction. I'm licensed in Mississippi and Arkansas. And I have a nonprofit called Assist with Helping Hands, where we assist elderly people repairing their homes at no cost to them.
Well, thank you for being with us here today because you are certainly busy. So what we're going to discuss is the topic of instructors and recruitment. Instructors and recruitment. What do you say to students who may be interested in your program?
Normally, I will ask them, why are they interested in what do you think you'll be doing if you receive a degree in industrial technology, management, and applied engineering, just to make sure they have the true feeling of what we actually do with this program. And once they tell me that, we are such a shotgun type program. About anything you want to do, there's something in our program that you can develop expertise, and we can develop that into a career. So that's the first thing I do when I talk to a student. Then I tell them about all the benefits from receiving a degree in industrial technology, management, and applied engineering. We just got back from NSBE last week, which is National Society of Black Engineering, where there was 13,000 students participating in that conference, 13,000 minority students. And we came back with over $1 million worth of jobs. The end result speaks for itself. Salary ranging from $81,000 to around 60, maybe 65. Our average student will walk out making around $70,000 after 4 years in this program. And we got about a 90% retention.
Awesome. So let's talk about that. Once students are in your program, what are some ways instructors help to retain those students?
But we're a small institution. I've gone to 5 different other colleges and universities. And one unique thing about UAPB is that we're small, the classes are small. The chairperson, Dr. Colin, who was one of my students once, now is my supervisor, he knows pretty well every student by their name. Every student has our cell number. Most schools don't do that. Every student in our department got each one of the instructor's cell numbers, so they can call us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. We have a true open door policy. My door is never closed unless I'm discussing some private information with someone. Students can walk in the office anytime. We got office hours. We have to be in the office supposedly, but they can walk in anytime they want to. And they become more like our children, parents, children, best friends, mentors. We become everything to these students because we have students from very adverse backgrounds. Many of them are the first generation coming to college. Many of them come from some very adverse backgrounds, maybe the urban city like Detroit, Chicago, Memphis, or some of the cities. And you can just tell instantly these students came from a background where they're probably not really prepared to come into college. And it's a whole new environment for them. And one of the unique thing about UAPB, we can recognize it in the freshman year. One of the good things about our program, Dr. Colin and myself do most of the recruiting. So as we recruit, these students see us when they get here. It's not like we get you here and then you thrown into nowhere and don't know anybody. We teach the student that we recruit, and I think that's one of the greatest benefits, and that's what I think keep our retention rate so high. Because the students know us. They know us, they meet us downtown. If they want to call us at 12 o'clock midnight, they can do that. So we develop that bond with them. It's more than just a student teacher. They become part of the UAPB family, and I think that's why our retention is so high.
Okay, so we've discussed retention. What about graduation? What are some ways instructors help students to graduate or meet their academic goals?
Well, one of the things we do in the department, we're unique by, for instance, myself, I teach students as a freshman, I teach them as a sophomore, I teach them as a junior, I teach them as a senior. So we get a chance to see the development of those students from the day they walk here, when they probably think they should not be here, through that 4-year progression where we can see the development. And for instance, if a student makes a C in my class, they come to the office, we're going to discuss it. Why did you make a C? Most time they will say it's because they didn't study. They're very honest. And once we find out why the grades are what they are, then we can put in something in place to change that. And many times we may have students come in the freshman year making pretty bad grades, and it's adjustment. You're away from home, you got free time, and many times it's time management. But we monitor those grades, and when we get those grades, we call them in and talk to them and see, is it really the student who has the ability to negotiate a degree in this area? Or they just not spending the proper time on the class work in order to become successful in the program? We're not interested in just getting a degree. You can get a degree in anything. We want to make sure when you get that degree, you're worth at least $70,000. That's our goal. If we don't do that, we feel like we're a failure. And we know those skill sets that have to be developed to make that student work that, and we develop that. If you break a verb in my class, you're corrected. If you say, you are corrected. Anything we see that's going to be a hinder to you when you get out in corporate America, in the public, we're going to make those corrections in class, where most colleges and universities, they don't do that. So you go through a whole year process thinking that you're doing things right because nobody corrected you, and you're not. I don't give true or false tests. I don't give multiple choice tests. All my tests are explanation, explain, and how do you use this information in the application after graduation. So when they write, I understand how they think. And once I know how they think, I can help develop that thought process in the way it should be within that 4 years. And it's been very successful. We went from 43 students to 225 in 8 years. As of now, we have more jobs available than we have students placed in this position. We're doing something right.
I agree. You said earlier that some students feel like they shouldn't be there. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, many of these students that we receive, we have students may come here with a 1.5 GPA. We have students may come with a 2.4. And they have been probably the last in their classes all through, maybe not through the 12th grade. So they don't have much self-esteem. They don't have, the confidence level is very low. And we can tell that day one if you're a good teacher. First thing, we got to build that confidence, and what I normally do is to really give student confidence. My first test is usually very easy, where everybody's going to make at least 90 or 100 on the test. Probably the first time they ever made 100 in their lives. Once they make that 100, they begin, I can do this. And they will try. But if you get the first test and everybody making an F, and you already feel like you're an F student, you'll kill that student. Chances are you're going to lose them. They don't have confidence anymore. And when they don't have confidence, they're not going to do the best they can do. And it comes out in the end, they probably won't make it through the program. And I would call my students in and say, look, based on what I've seen, you're probably better if you look at another degree. You probably get a degree in this area, but the amount of knowledge you have learned is not going to be enough for you to perform with confidence and feel good about yourself in this program. So maybe let's talk about, maybe there's something else you need to do. But if they decide to continue on, then we just work harder. My theory is this: if I'm taking your $8,000 to $10,000 a semester, I have a responsibility to make sure you're employed in 4 years. I don't care what we have to do. If we have to work 10 hours, 20 hours, we taking your money, we have a responsibility to make sure you're employed. And that's how we look at it here.
Okay. And through these years of growth and success, what are some tips that you have learned that you can share with other faculty?
Well, the first thing I would say is develop a relationship with your students. Know your students. I tell my students often, if you are an A student and maintain an A, that's good. If you are an A student and selling for a C, I'm very disappointed in you. If you are a C student and that's the best you can do, I feel just as good about you as I feel about that A student. It's a relationship that the faculty need to develop with those students to give them the confidence that they can come to them when they need to. And they got to have trust in you. They got to believe what you say is best for them. I say a lot of things. In fact, the first self I gave as a faculty person was to my nephew. First self I gave as a college instructor was to my oldest brother's son. And he came back and spoke. That was probably 20 years ago, but he came back and spoke to the class last year and said, "Yep, I know y'all heard Miss Duff talking about the one I'm that person." But he said, "He did not give me the F. I earned that F." When I give a student an F, they know where they got it. And, they don't retaliate. They don't feel bad. They know that they didn't do what they're supposed to have done. And if they have really done the best they can and have not met the standards, we can't change the standards just to get us individuals through school. Either you have to come up to those standards, I'll probably redirect your career path. But very few students we have that really change the major once they get here. But we've got a very good support system. And most of it's with the teachers that teach here. We're going to do it. If you do your part, I can assure you they will graduate with confidence and with a good salary.
So it sounds like attendance is not an issue. How do you encourage students to attend classes?
Well, if I find students not, first I'm going to call them and find out why they're not coming to my class. Most of the classes are small, so if you don't show up, I know you're not there. And none of them have the roll signed every day, so I can look and see who's there. If you're not there, I'm going to give you a call and say, why you're not coming to class. Then if they continue, if I start having a large absentee, I start giving quizzes right at the beginning of the class. So if you're not there, you can't get those points. If you can't get those points, it's going to impact your grade. They passed a law where you really can't. When I first came here, for every 3-hour class, and if you miss 4 classes, you could drop the grade 1 letter per absentee beyond the amount of hours. Well, the state said that's not fair, which I guess is true. So if a student can learn the material without coming to class, why do they have to come to class? So we can't penalize them for that reason. But what I can do, I can give tests at the beginning of the class, and if you're not there, you're getting penalized because you can't count those points. But most you really don't have that much of a problem, because they understand the database of knowledge that they receive is going to be based upon what they're going to be paid when they graduate. And one of the things that I tell students, look at it this way. Assume you could walk into a bank for 4 years. My class, like most of my class, is 6 to 9:30 at night. And you could go in there for 3.5 hours, and it's full of $100 bills. And all the $100 bills you receive in this 3 hours, they're yours. And you could do that for 4 years. How many times would you miss this class? They understand money. I would never. I said, well, when you don't come to class, that's exactly what's happening. Your knowledge is going to transfer into dollars upon graduation. We have students start out at $90,000. We have them start out at $50,000. Which one do you want to be? Why do you think the students start out at 90? Why do you think this one? It's the difference in the knowledge base of the material. That's all it is. And how you can express that. And they get that early on. One other thing we do, we make sure our students get internships. Like in the summer, even as freshmen, we try to get them a job in the area that they're trying to pursue. And once they come back, they're a different student. They actually go out there and work in that field, work with professional people. They come back different. They're a lot more mature, a lot more serious about their classes. And they kind of self-prepare from that point on. So we don't really have that many problems, to be honest.
That's excellent. Mr. Duffy, what final thoughts would you like to leave with us today?
Develop a relationship with your students. Give them confidence that they can do what they want to do. But let them know there are certain basics that they're going to have to develop in order to do that. For instance, any student coming here, they should take all the math they can in high school. And only math you have really I'm over the construction program and I teach manufacturing classes. 90% of the math you're going to have is adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. But very little algebra, but very little trigonometry. If a student masters those things, mathematically, they fine. If they learn to communicate well, 90% of the company going to say the number one skill set they want is communication. You can be the smartest person in the department, you can't communicate that to other people, to the potential employer, you're not going to get hired. How you going to be on the page? You may be working night and they pay you 50. So communication, written and orally, is very, very important. We have many students come from a large city, they got their own language. We have to change that in 4 years, and we're pretty successful in doing that. So communication, relationship, student-faculty relationship, and monitor their progress. When they do good, everybody make 100 on my test, I call their name out when I pass the paper. I want them to be recognized for what they have achieved. And little things like that make a big difference.
Thank you, Mr. O.C. Duffy. It's been my great pleasure to spend this time with you today.
Well, thank you. Thanks for inviting me, and I really, truly enjoyed it. And anything we can do. In fact, we need students. Our program, COVID hurt us. We had 225 when COVID hit. We're down to about 125. We've lost 100 students due to COVID. The problem we have now, as I said, we got more companies coming here looking for students. We have students to place in those positions. So we on a very aggressive recruitment program to try to get at least another 100 students in a year and a half. And we can place every one of those students in the job market. So if you got a group of students that may be interested, we don't have a problem coming down and talking to the student, parents, or whomever. This area here, if they do what they're supposed to do, I can guarantee them $70,000 a day they walk across that stage.
Sounds like we need to get you here to Coahoma Community College to talk with our students.
We'd love to do that. We need them.
All right, I'll be in touch. Thank you, Mr. Duffy.
And thank you.